When you combine the fortunes of Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and Jeff Bezos, you currently reach about $420 billion. But this is not even half of the wealth this man possesses. Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. Through his family, he is probably the only person in the world with assets of over 1 trillion euros. If he could spend all this money at once, he could theoretically buy 1 million Lamborghini Urus or all the cruise ships in the world, and still have more than half of his money left. So we asked ourselves, what does the richest man in the world actually spend his money on? And what does his daily life look like with all this wealth? That's what we'll show you now. First, we want to explain how Mohammed bin Salman, often just called MBS, actually got so much money. As the son of the current king of Saudi Arabia, the crown prince was born into a very wealthy family. More precisely, the Al Saud family is the richest family that has ever lived because they are the official owners of all oil deposits in Saudi Arabia. As one of the world's largest oil exporters, the royal family founded the oil company Saudi Aramco many decades ago, which is now worth over $2 trillion on the stock exchange. Since the Saudi kingdom owns almost all shares in the company, this makes the royal family the wealthiest in the world. MBS is already regarded as the head of the family, and thus also has control over the vast fortune. Due to this wealth, MBS was able to lay the foundation for his current extraordinarily spectacular life early on. After school, the now 37-year-old was able to study Islamic law at the best university in Saudi Arabia before initially working as an investor in the real estate industry and as a business consultant. At 29, he was first appointed defense minister by his father, and he is now also the prime minister. However, a typical day in the life of Mohammed bin Salman is not as relaxed as you might think. He usually wakes up in his gigantic palace in Riyadh around 7 a.m., joined by his wife, Sarah. Allegedly, he has other wives, but in public he only presents her. After the children have been awakened, it's time for breakfast. Yet, it's not the typical family breakfast you might imagine. Apart from state dinners, MBS only eats food prepared by his private chefs. Even when traveling, he always has a handful of top chefs with him. He also always has a taster at home who tests everything very precisely an hour before the crown prince gets it to check for possible poisoning. Instead of enjoying his breakfast, MBS's working day starts early. He said in an interview that the news runs early in the morning, and he continuously checks social networks. He claims to spend several hours daily on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to stay informed about world news. When not on state trips, but simply on vacation, you can often find him in France, specifically in Paris, where he bought the supposedly most expensive residential building in the world in 2015. This palace, in the style of Louis XIV, contains not only a nightclub, a golf course, and a fountain adorned with golden statues, but also historic ceiling paintings, indoor whirlpools like in Roman baths, and a private wine cellar. Another holiday activity of MBS is even more extravagant. He owns a private island in the Maldives that he uses solely for throwing massively oversized parties.